Funding the mission, again, is a tool that helps each church see what they have given and also gives them the opportunity to see what their giving goals would be, and finally to see to use the website to give to the Church of the Nazarene and to your district. So if you Googled funding the mission, you're going to see probably in your favorite search engine something like this. And if you clicked on the link that says funding the mission, hopefully, can everybody see my screen? Are you seeing this okay, everybody? Okay. Very good. This is the pre-login page for the Funding the Mission website. And on this page is a lot of good information about the giving plan and what we are called to do as Nazarenes together. At the very top, for those of you who are joining us, it is possible to translate this page to Spanish by clicking on the little button at the top. So all of this text and information can be translated there for you. At the very top in the upper right-hand corner, you will see a little word that says login. That's how you get to the website to actually log into the website and use it for your church. Each individual that needs access or would like access, I'm going to back up here just a second, can gain access through first creating what we call a Nazarene identification account. And really all that is your first and last name and an email address. We always suggest that it be a personal email address, something that only you have access to. Again, there is a security element to that, so we like to use email addresses, again, that only you have access to, unlike a church email address, something like First Nazarene Church at nazarene.org. That would be what we call a generic email address, and we want to try to avoid that when you set up your Nazarene ID account. We want it to be personal for you. So you can set that up by either contacting Chris or the district office. They can start that process for you, or you can contact Stewardship directly at stewardship@nazarene.org. We'll repeat that email address as we go along. But once you have that Nazarene account, that Nazarene identification account established, then you can log in by clicking on the login button in the upper right-hand corner, which would take you to the screen that you see here. This is the login where you would put your personal email address and your password. And you would enter it there, and you would simply click the button that says login, of course. As on the bottom of the page, if you either forgot your password or you're not able to log in with the email and password that you feel like you've selected or set up, there's links there that can help you reset your password, or just contact us and help you log in. So I'm going to go ahead and log in under my login. When you log in, after you set up your particular Nazarene account, it's going to take you to your church page. For the purposes of today's demonstration, I'm going to use a church that is hopefully a church. Well, it is a church that is quite a distance from where we're at, but hopefully just to protect personal information or giving information, hopefully it's a church that maybe you don't have relatives at. Today I'm going to use a church in Michigan just to demonstrate the site, because it's very much like the Kansas City district. So when you log into the website, it takes you to what we call the home page. And that's what you see on the screen, is the home page. And we'll talk about everything that's on the home page here together. First of all, we have a set of little pictures or icons at the top of the screen that help you navigate from one page to another of the website itself. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see a picture, or excuse me, a text of your church and your district. Of course, you're going to see your church name and Kansas City district when you log in. Towards the bottom, you're going to see a set of 4 circles across the middle. And again, this is this site is actually, the titles of this site can be translated to Spanish also by selecting a tab at the top. You'll see that up there. There's 4 circles across the middle of the screen. One says reported income. One says World Evangelism Fund. The red circle says pensions and benefits. And in this case, the gray circle on the right is education. Below that is another button that says more details, and I'll take you there in a moment to show you what that button takes you to. At the very bottom, you'll also see 5 or 6 icons that really repeat what you see at the top of the screen. They're the very same thing. Over on the right-hand side, there's another tab that we'll talk about in a little while that gives you other options on the website itself. So this is what we call the home page. And what I'm going to do today is kind of move from left to right. So at the very top of the screen, some of you may already have an account login established. And if you do, you could log into your church and follow along. If not, again, we're recording this. So once you have your login established, you'll be able to navigate around the website as you watch this video. So again, the home screen is a good synopsis of what your church has given already to some of these giving goals. And then what makes the Funding the Mission website dynamic is when the church enters their income. So income to the church, that's always a question that comes up. What is our church income? Well, in its most very simple, basic definition, your church's income is simply any gift that has come into the church. And you could potentially add the word charitable to that. Any charitable gift to your church would be considered by the Church of the Nazarene for the purpose of this funding plan as your church income. So that would be when you enter that voluntarily onto the website becomes a calculator for the local church, for the treasurer, for the pastor, or anyone else. It simply helps the church to know what the giving goals would be. So as we navigate from the home page to reporting income page, I'll do that in just a second to show you how that page looks. What I want to do first, before we do that, is click on this little button below the 4 circles that says more details. When you click on this button, it gives you basically another version of the home screen. And so what you see on this page is those same 4 circles, but you see a little bit more information. For instance, in the Kansas City district will look just like this Michigan district. Over on the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your Michigan district, or I'm sorry, Kansas City district goal. And then for the purposes of this particular district that I'm demonstrating, you see something that says ONU goal, which means in their district, Olivet Nazarene University. For us here in Kansas City, that would be Mid-America Nazarene University. So you'll see both your district and your education goal. And then over here, you see the same types of items on this page where you see the church's reported income, what they believe their income is as of the 31st of December. You also see what the local church has given away from their income to mission specials. Below that, you see a little, another number in light gray that says given by others. And what that means is of the 3,000, in this church's case, of the $3,695 that they've given away to mission specials, $2,010 of that number were given by others in the church. And what that means is this particular church has people in the church that are giving to things in the Church of the Nazarene that are mission projects or missionaries or child sponsorship, and they want their local church to receive credit for that gift. And so 2010 is the total there. That is part of the $3,695 number. That's a little bit more information that this page gives you. Then you'll see that this church has given a certain amount of money to the World Evangelism Fund. And below that, it says to meet the goal, they would want to give this much to that goal, $344 in this case, and 83 cents. And again, that goal is based on the income that the church has entered here. Then you'll see that below that, they have the pensions and benefits goal. And one of the things that you'll see on the financial detail summary page is it will not only tell the church how much to meet the goal, but it would say if you decide today that you want to meet the World Evangelism Fund goal, the P&B goal is actually a little less then. And that's what it says here. If the World Evangelism Fund goal is met, then your P&B goal becomes this dollar amount. So again, this is a little bit more information that the financial detail summary gives you than the home screen itself. It also will say those same types of things over here where it says district goals. You'll see that for this particular church, it shows what they've given to their district goal. It shows if they were just wanting to meet the district goal today, it says a number there, but it says if you want to meet more than one goal, World Evangelism Fund and your district, the district goal will actually go down. And that's because all missional gifts, any gift that your church gives to missions, is subtracted mathematically away from a church's income. And so it lowers the other goals. In other words, if you raise money for the World Evangelism Fund in your church, or you raise money to give to a missionary, that would be considered part of your church's income, but it shouldn't raise any other giving goal. And so mathematically, those are subtracted from your church's income, and it lowers the other goals. I could say that like this: the more you give away to missions, the less all the other goals are. That's the principle there. Well, let me go back to the home page and just so you can remember how to get back there. And then I'm going to go and show you the next icon, which is the little pencil. And it says we're going to go to this page to report or update our church's income. Again, this is the page where it allows the church to update their income as they go through the year. This particular church, you can see at the very bottom of the page, looks like they update their income about once a month. So it looks like the treasurer is going in and adding income each month that they raise to the previous number. So at the top of the page, you'll see that there is two options for the local church. They can add to the total income, or they can set the total income. For instance, if this was this treasurer, and let's say they wanted to add $10,000 to their church's income for January, they could pick January 29th as the as of date, and they could say January income added. So they're going to add this $10,000 to the previous total. So that's one way to update your church's income. You could also just set the total year-to-date income each time. In other words, you could click this option and say, our income now is 500,000. And you could put total income as of 1 January 29. So that's another option. I'm not going to enter that and hit submit income because I don't want to change this church's income. But that's how you would update your income, and then that record would be at the bottom. So you can change your church's income anytime. This is not the official total for your church. It just helps the website calculate your goals. If you make a mistake, there is instructions on how to fix your mistake. Sometimes you may say, well, I meant to update and put $500 and add it to our income, but I actually hit too many zeros and added 5,000. You can always go back and reset your church's income by clicking on the total year-to-date income. There's a couple of links over here to the right-hand side that talk about what is church income. There are sometimes questions that will come up on whether or not a particular amount of money that you're putting into your church's bank account should be added to your church's income. One example of that might be, for instance, let's say that your church has a parsonage that they're renting out to someone other than the pastor. In other words, a building a house that the church owns that they're renting. Rental income is income to the church, but it's not charitable income. It's not a charitable gift. So therefore it's not or would not be part of your church's income. If you click on this button right here, it takes you to a document that attempts to answer all of the tough questions about whether or not a particular gift is part of your church's income or not. I think that might have been one of the handouts that we gave to each person today. So you may already have that document. So that's how you update your church's income. Moving from left to right again, let me take you to the next icon, which is the contributions icon. It looks like a little gift box. So let's click on that together. When you go to the contribution page, this is where you can see several different things. Number one, you're going to see a synopsis of your church's giving over on the left-hand side. How much did this church give to the World Evangelism Fund and what they would need to meet the goal? How much did they give to the pensions fund and what they would need to meet the goal? So all of that information is there at the top. On the right-hand side, you'll see it says scheduled contributions. What that simply means is if you used this website to give, which I'll demonstrate here in a moment, electronically to either the general church or to your district, then you would see that in what we call scheduled contributions right here in this section. And the website allows you to send money electronically. If you'd rather not write a paper check, you can do that. And you can schedule it anytime, either today or in the future. So then you would see your gift here in the scheduled contributions area. At the bottom of the page, you're going to see the church's contribution history. There's a couple of icons in the upper right-hand corner that you can print this information if you're a treasurer, either as a PDF file or an Excel spreadsheet. That's a helpful thing if you're a treasurer and you want to show your congregation or your church board, your pastor, all of the gifts that have come in or that you've sent away from your church. You can also see a history of what this church has given to, and you'll also see some of what I mentioned before, gifts from others. There's individuals from this church who are giving to, and in this case, a lot of child sponsorship. And they're giving credit to their local church there in Michigan for their personal gifts. So you may have some people in your congregation that may be doing the same thing. Maybe they're passionate about sponsoring a child through the Church of the Nazarene Compassionate Ministries, or maybe they have a particular missionary that they want to give to. They can set up a relationship so that each time they give to whatever it is they're passionate about, that your local church receives mission project credit for their personal gift. And so that's why you see both personal gifts here and gifts from the local church themselves. So you'll see here, this is a gift from the local church, from this church to the World Evangelism Fund. This each column tells a little bit about the gift. It says, how did the church give the gift? In this case, you'll see this gift says ACH, which means they sent it electronically through the clearinghouse. That's what that stands for. And it shows the date of the gift and the amount of the gift. And then over on the right-hand side, there's also a details button. So if I clicked on this button about the details of this particular gift, it will take you to another screen that's opening here in just a moment. Hopefully it will open. And it allows the local church to make a correction to that particular gift. For instance, if you sent this gift and you decided, I sent that gift and it got recorded for the wrong fund, or it was the wrong amount, this screen will allow the church to tell us about that and ask for a change. I'm not sure why it's taking as long as it is to open. We'll see if it pops open here in just a moment. There we go. It usually does not take that long, so I do apologize. So here you can see the correction screen that the local church sees, and you'll see the amount of the gift, what it was for, and the church has the option to say, I want to change the fund, I want to change the year that the gift is recorded in, or maybe something other like a refund. Maybe I just need to say, please refund this gift. And I could send this email, and it sends an email to us at the Global Ministry Center, and we can carry out the change that you want to make. So just a reminder that you get to that button by clicking on the blue details button on the right-hand side of each gift in your contribution history. So at the very top of the page, of the contribution page, you'll see a large green button that says make a contribution. This is for this is when the church wants to use the website itself to send money, either to their district or to the general church. The website has the ability to send money to different places. And this would be the same for the Kansas City district also. So if I clicked on make a contribution, it's going to give me a menu of giving options on the left-hand side of the screen. I could give to the World Evangelism Fund today. I could give to the Pensions Fund. I could give to a mission special project. In this case, the Michigan district that I'm looking at is telling their local churches, if you want to give to your school, we'd like for you to send the gift here. If you want to give to your district, there's a link to do it there. And I'll switch over here, Chris, in just a moment, and I'll use a Kansas City district church just so they can see what it looks on Kansas City. Very much the same. We'll click on one of these links here in just a moment. At the very bottom, if you're a church that says, well, this is all great that I could send money electronically, but I don't want to do that yet. I'd like to send it as a paper check. So this little link here will allow you to print what we call a remittance form. It's a form that you could send in with your paper check, and you could detail on the form what your check was meant to be allocated for. It's a form that says you could write in that so many dollars of this check should go for this project or this project. But let's just assume today that this particular church wants to send a gift electronically to the general church. So let's click on World Evangelism Fund. And if you click on that, not only are you going to see a box where the church could give to the World Evangelism Fund, but you're going to see a number of boxes in this case that are the most recently used or commonly used fund boxes that a local church may want to give to. Let's say that I wanted to give $300 today to the World Evangelism Fund from High Point Community Church. And let's say that I wanted to give $100 to the Pensions Fund. And let's say that we took an alabaster offering at this local church and I received $50 and I'd like to send that in. So you can see on the right-hand side of the screen that those gifts are adding up in the contributions total right down here. So there's the total, 300, 150. Then at the top, I'm able to select my bank account. Now you can enter your bank account on the website from your local church, and it will save it under your login. It's secure. Only you will be able to see the banking account information. We at the general church level cannot see it, and the people on the district can't see it. It's only user specific. So once you have it saved, you can use it at any time if you want to send money both to your district or to your general church. If I clicked on that, I'll show you what that screen looks like. It allows me to add my church's banking account information. Let's say that I banked at something called First National Bank. And I want to enter this as a checking account. Then I could enter my routing number and account number. You would find that on the bottom of a paper check that your bank gives you for your church's bank account. And there it tells you where to find the routing number, where to find the account number. So those would go in those appropriate boxes there. And then at the bottom, there's a place for you to say whether or not you're an authorized person to send money from this bank account. That's kind of important. And then of course, this is pre-checked that this account is only visible to me, and you want to leave that checked so that no one else can see that banking account information. Obviously, I'm not going to enter a bank account for this church because I'm in Kansas City and not in Michigan. So we won't do that for this church today. But if it was there, I could select that bank account, and then I could say I want my gift to be accounted in a particular fiscal year, and I want it to be sent on a particular day, either today or any day in the future. And then at the bottom, I would hit continue, and it would just simply, if I hit it today, it's going to say I'm missing a few things like the banking account. So if I hit that today, it wouldn't work for me. But if you were to enter your bank account information and you hit that button, it will give you a synopsis of the gift before you send it. And it gives you one more chance to say, is this what you want to send? Yes or no, and you can send that. So that's how you give to how the contribution section works. I may want to mention here, because this may come up in questions at the end. Let's say that you didn't want to give to the World Evangelism Fund or the Pensions Fund or a particular mission special, or a Nazarene Compassionate Ministry special, but you want to give to a missionary from your church, you would use the write-in button at the bottom. And you might say, I want to give to missionary Kevin Coker. I'm not a missionary, but I'm just going to write in my name. And that you wanted this to go for Kevin Coker's deputation fund. So you might put the word deputation, and then you could put in whatever dollar amount your church wanted to give. And when you add that, you'll notice on the right-hand side that it adds that as a write-in right down there at the bottom. So that's how you could give to something or somebody, a project or a person that you don't see a particular giving box for. Let me go backwards a moment and show you what the Kansas City district also gives you an opportunity to do, which is you can give to your district through the website. I do want to make it clear that when you give to your district, it is a different link than to the general church. The website has the ability to send money two different places. Again, one to the general church and one to your district. So the Kansas City district is going to look just like this. In this case, I could click on district contribution to Michigan, and I can send money to my Michigan district, or in this case to Olivet. So let me change quickly to a church on the Kansas City district. And I'm just going to choose the church I'm a part of here, just for the sake of what this might look like. So I'm going to go to a church on the Kansas City district and show you what the district link is when you actually go to it. So let me go backwards here. We need to update. There we go, Kansas City district. So on the Kansas City district page, when you log in, of course, it's going to say, much like it did in Michigan, if you would like to send money directly to the university, you have two different ways to do it. You could send it to this mailing address, or when you click on this link to send it to Kansas City, you can give to your district. Gives you different options. You can give to Mid-America right there. They have a box for you to give to Mid-America. And what Kansas City has done, they've gone the extra mile, and they have provided your district giving goal in 4 different funds. So if we went back on the Kansas City district and we showed you the more details button, I'm going to go backwards here. You would see that the Kansas City district on the more details page has segmented your district goal for you. And I believe CP stands for church plant, does it not, Chris? Right. So you have the district goal at the top. You have the church planting goal. There's the Mid-American Nazarene University goal, the NMI goal, NYI, and STMI. So Kansas City has really detailed that out for the local church. So if I was on a Kansas City district and I wanted to give to NYI, when I go to that menu and I click on that district contribution, you're going to see that pre-filled box there for NYI. So I could send $15 and $13 and $15 or whatever the goal might be to my district. I could also give my Mid-America money to the district, and the district's going to forward that to the school for me. So those are some of the great options that that district giving link gives you. So again, I just want to make sure that that each of you understand that you can send money to different places by clicking on that green Make a Contribution button. You can send money to the general church for all of those funds that we talked about that we value together, missions, pensions, mission projects, or you can send money to your district. But you want to do that in 2 separate transactions, 2 separate times that you click on contribution. All right. There may be some questions about that. We'll come back to them if you have any questions at the end. Well, let me keep going from left to right, and I'm going to click on, oh, let me do one more thing before I go on to the next icon. There's a little blue button over here that says more. If you click on that, you're going to have a couple of options. Each local church is going to have the option to select a monthly statement. So if you wanted to say, I want to take a statement to my church board meeting that says what my church gave in the month of December, you could click on that monthly statement, and again, it's going to load up. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to create for you as the treasurer or the pastor or whoever needs it, a monthly statement for anything that we have recorded on the website that this local church gave in the month of December. That's a helpful thing for many treasurers or pastors to have. So again, that's loading up for this particular church, and you would see it here in just a moment. There it comes. That's what it would look like. So it would detail all of the church's giving that particular month, including a lot of those, what we call gifts from others. So that's all there for you. Again, that is part of the button that allows the church to click on monthly statements. Okay, there's also some other things there that you can access that you'll be able to see when you log in, like frequently asked questions. At the top of that page will be how to reach the stewardship team. If you wanted to call me and talk to me about the website or anything else, there's our phone number there, a toll-free number that you can call, and there's the email address that you can reach us. And then some specific questions that you might have about how to create an account, or how to, what is my church's income, or how can I give online? All of those helps are there for you. So again, that's on the More tab on the right-hand side of the screen. All right, let me go back up to the top and click on the next little icon that's called point-to-point giving. Point-to-point giving is a way for each local church to report gifts that they gave away from their church to a mission project, and the gift did not go through the general treasury. So the most common type of point-to-point gift that a church might want to report would be, many churches like to give to Nazarene Theological Seminary, or they might give an offering every year to the Nazarene Bible College. Or maybe they want to give to the Kansas City Rescue Mission. I think it's called Shelter now, right? Shelter Kansas City. That's a particular ministry right here on the Kansas City district that is a Nazarene mission project. So this is where you would tell the general church about that gift. You might say, well, I gave to Nazarene Bible College from our church. We gave a cash gift to the college. We gave $100. We're also going to ask ourselves the question, was this $100 that we gave away from our church to the Bible college, was it part of our income number that we've already recorded or not? And there's a little box there you can check. You can see that it's telling you what that little box is for down here at the bottom. Then you would put in NBC or Nazarene Bible College, and you gave to the annual offering. And then you would just send that our way by hitting the button that says Submit Request. Again, this is a way for the local church to tell the general church that you gave to a mission project and it didn't go through the general treasury of the Church of the Nazarene. Very common thing that churches do. It helps your church reach what we call the 10% goal. 10% means just a challenge of each church to give 10% of its total income away just for missions. And that includes mission projects or the World Evangelism Fund. Those two numbers together is what we use to calculate that 10% number. So that's how you would send a point-to-point request. Once it's sent, you would see the request at the bottom. In fact, this church actually gave to Shelter KC, so they told us about their gift and a couple of other mission specials that they gave to. And then you can see the status of that again by clicking on the details button on the right-hand side. The status meaning whether or not that was an approved gift that we can approve as a mission project, something that's already been approved in the United States. Okay, that is what we call point-to-point, the two opposite facing arrows. Going again towards the right, there's an icon that allows you again to enter your banking account information. This is just simply another place to do that on the website, separate from the transaction screen itself. Same boxes here that you could enter, and you would see the banking account information on this side of the screen if you had already saved it. But only that user can see the banking account information. All right, well, let me spend just a little bit of time on the very last icon other than the help icon, which is this little picture that looks like a calculator. This is an important part of the website. If you're a pastor or if you're a treasurer, you might sit down once a year and ask yourself, what do we think our church will raise this year? Usually churches will have a good idea based on what they received the previous year on what they hoped to raise this year. That's what this calculating page is for. It's a planning page. It's meant to say, as a local church, what if we raised $100,000 this year at our church? What would our goals be if we raised $100,000? And it just is a very simple screen to type in the church's income, hit the calculate button, and it says, if you raised $100,000, what would your World Evangelism Fund goal be? It would be this amount. In this case, you're also going to see what your pensions goal would be, what your education goal would be, and even what the Kansas City district goal would be based on that $100,000 that your church may raise. You can also use this calculator. It's kind of an interesting way to use this to say, well, we think that this next calendar year, we're going to go on a work and witness trip to Texas. And we're going to go to the Cactus Ministry Center in Texas and help them with their ministry there. That's a USA Work and Witness site that you could go to. And we think we're going to raise $10,000 to go to that Work and Witness project. You could enter that in your planning session, and you can see as you enter that and you hit calculate again, it will adjust the goals and will give you an idea of if you raised 100,000 but you gave 10,000 of it away, you can see how that adjusts your goals accordingly. So that's a great way. It's a planning page, and I want to make sure that I say again that it's meant, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. It's meant to be used once a year when you sit down with your church finance committee and plan for your year. It's a budgeting tool is what it is. All right. So I'm going to go back here to the home screen, and I'm going to show you just a couple of other things, and then I'm going to stop and I'll see if you have any questions that I can help you with. One of the other things that I didn't mention on the website is that the name of your church and district will be in the upper right-hand corner, and it allows the user to click on the church name and select a particular year. Let's say that for some reason you want to see, how did our church do back in 2015? You can select that fiscal year and you can go backwards in time and you can see what your church did in that particular fiscal year. So that's another option that that you can use. That comes into play a lot of times at the end of the fiscal year. Let's say that Chris and the office administrative staff at Kansas City has said, hey, don't forget, our fiscal year ends next month. And you log into the website on the first day of the next month, and it puts you in to the next calendar year, and you say, well, I want to give to the previous year. This is the way you would do that. You would select a particular fiscal year that you want to give to by clicking on the name of your church in your district in the upper right-hand corner. That's kind of an overview of the functionality of the website for each of the local churches.